English on Thursday the 11th of February. Handwriting, and then you're going to be writing a newspaper report. Today's handwriting is a poem called From a Railway Carriage by Robert Louis Stevenson. There it is. So today we're going to be writing a newspaper report about the occasion of Amanda Gorman reading her memorable poem at Joe Biden's inauguration ceremony. This is a bit of information about Amanda Gorman. She's the National Youth Poet Laureate for the United States of America. She's recently become famous across the world because of her performance of her poem, The Hill We Climb, at Joe Biden's inauguration as the 46th President of the United States of America. And just to clarify, inauguration is a ceremony to mark the beginning of something. In the United States, it's a name given to the ceremony that takes place when a new president comes into office. So she's really young. We've read poetry before by Maya Angelou, and she in the past was poet laureate and read at the inauguration. And actually, Amanda was wearing a very special ring given to her as a gift by Maya Angelou. She drew inspiration from Martin Luther King from some of his speeches. So she expressed her feelings about the current issues facing her and others. Her poem Recital at Biden's inauguration speaks about the current issues in America, but the words can be interpreted to have many meanings and have a lot of truth when it comes to being human and living in a democracy like we do in this country. And I know that lots of you did some fantastic, well, all of you actually did some fantastic poetry based on that. Really beautiful. I really enjoyed reading that. So in your newspaper report, it's going to be really important to have some of the key facts. And I've got them here. Who? So the 5 W's. So your report is, who is it about? Well, it's about Amanda Gorman, the National Youth Poet Laureate for the United States of America. What was the occasion? What did she do? It was a very powerful and memorable poetry recital or reading. When? It was at the new American president's inauguration. And I should have actually got the date of that. That would have been important. So that's perhaps something you can research. That was, I think, January the 20th, if I'm correct. Where? In America, Washington, United States of America. And why her? Why was she chosen? Well, why? In a way, because it was a special occasion. And she was chosen because she is a poet and she is America's youth poet. So she's America's young person's poet laureate. So those are all key facts that you may want to rewrite in your own way, but you'll be including those in your report today. So the features of a newspaper report. Quick reminder. What features can you think of? An interesting headline and sub-headline. An introductory paragraph that includes the 5 W's, and we've just talked about that. Captions. That means a short description for any pictures that are there. And facts about the main events. Writing in the third person and the past tense. Quotes, you may not want to use those today. We haven't looked that much at quotes, but that's something that is very typical in newspaper reports. And a conclusion in the final paragraph of the report to explain what might happen next. So here, I wonder if you can spot the 5 W's in the start of this report. Let's do this together. So this is called Back to Earth with a Bump. That's quite a catchy, interesting headline. That definitely makes me want to read more about this report. So the 5 W's, what? Let's find out what the what is. After a 6-month stay on the International Space Station, astronauts Tim Peake, Yuri Malenchenko, Timothy Kopra have finally returned home to Earth. So what? I think they've returned after a journey, a 6-month stay aboard the ISS, which is short for the International Space Station. So that's the what. So astronauts have returned after staying aboard the space station. So that's the what. The who. There we've got the names: Tim Peake, Yuri Malenchenko, Timothy Kopra. That's the who. What's the next W, I wonder? When. So see if you can see when that happened. I can't see when that happened. So they've just returned. They've been there for 6 months. So that tells us how long they've been away. Okay. So we've had the what, we've had the who, we've looked at the when, which is slightly different here. Where have they been? So they have been on the International Space Station. And why? Why do you think they went there? So I guess they were doing it, they were exploring, weren't they? Exploring space. Okay, so that's quite short there. I'm expecting you to write a little bit more than that. That gives us a good idea of how the beginning of the report sort of introduces the subject and has the 5 W's. So I've done an example here based on Amanda Gorman. So this is an example that you can read. I'm going to read to you as well, and this might help you with your writing today. So here's my headline, The Poet and the President. What do you notice there? The poet and the president. I've used alliteration, P and P. I think you could think of a more exciting headline, maybe. Maybe you could look back at your headlines that you wrote yesterday and see if you can think of something even better. Okay, on the 20th of January 2021, the whole world held their breath as Amanda Gorman delivered her poignant poem, The Hill We Climb. President Joe Biden's inauguration in America, Washington, D.C., was the occasion that this talented 22-year-old made history. And what an incredible performance it was. Amanda Gorman became the new voice of America. No, the new voice of the world. She radiated joy, conviction, and purpose. Tears sprang to the eyes of so many listeners. Hearing her words, they felt hope for the future. Does this signify a new beginning? So I've ended that paragraph with a question to encourage the reader to think on and to read on, because that would be my introductory paragraph, and that's what you're writing today. So I hope my example helps you. Your task here, handwriting, of course, in your books. Then use the example and the key facts that we've already got in the PowerPoint. Let's go back to those key facts. Oop, gone too far. There we are, to help you. And there will be a document, a J2E document on J2 for you to record that work today.